What's up, collecting fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, got another fun one for you. Another fantastic lineup here of superheroes, and following in the spirit of the legendary Stan Lee, who passed away a few days ago. This is really a kind of in honor or salute to the legendary Stan Lee. We wanted to do this exhibit a while ago with all of the rest of our figures from the famous cover series, but I think things kind of didn't work out quite that way, and I got a lot more busier than I anticipated, so we had to put it off. But we have time now, guys. We have time now, and we're excited about doing this toy line video from Toy Biz. And this was a fun, exciting action figure toy line that came out in the late 1990s. I believe it went to the very early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. But Toy Biz made some fantastic MIGO-like action figures. And these figures were a little taller in scale. They were about 9 inches tall. And I was watching and how I got started collecting this particular toy line. We are a museum. So, but I saw a fellow collector, RV, do a review. Check his channel out, RV Collectibles. And he was doing a review on one of these famous cover series, Marvel famous cover series action figures. And I said, wow, those are really cool. And I said, you know what, we don't have those figures in our museum, and our museum is all about the historical value of these toy lines from yesteryear. So we wanted to do this this collection and add this collection to our museum. And this was the first one I saw. This is my saber tooth, which is one of my favorite ones. The head sculpts were absolutely beautiful on these figures. These big husky bodies. The outfits were done superbly. This was not your average father's MIGO from the 1970s, like I said. So this was a different, and because we didn't have MIGOs at the time in the late 1990s, MIGO had, was out of business at the time. So Toy Biz really brought these figures back on the scene, and they did it with a beautiful box art, box design, more like in a booklet form. So just fantastic. So people got excited again about the 8 to 9 inch action figure. And looking at our our Captain America. Another one of my absolute favorites from this line. These head sculpts, I'm sorry guys, drew so much attention, positive and negative, because of the size. They weren't in scale per se with the body of the figure. But that was fine with me. That was the charm of this toy line and these figures. They weren't perfect. There were imperfections with this toy line. But we had a lot of the figures that we never had as kids growing up in the 1970s. And anybody that's grown up in the 1970s can attest to that. We just didn't have that. And now, you know, we did. And this is the crown jewel of the Marvel Famous Cover Series line, is the very elusive, hard to find Spider-Man. And this was one I absolutely positively had to have. He cost a little bit more. These figures aren't super expensive. Some of them are. Some of them cost a little bit more because they're a little bit more popular. We've done individual videos on all these beautiful figures. You can find them in our Marvel Famous Cover Series collection on our playlist here at the museum. And people have their own take on these figures. I mean, some, like I said, once again, some positive, some negative, but you know, one thing you couldn't deny. Check out our Hulk here. One thing you couldn't deny is the fact that these figures were very well made. My Hulk figure is another one of my absolute favorites. I did own a Hulk Mego figure back in the 1970s. This is closer. This is about 10 inches tall. He's built on that big husky body. Beautiful head sculpt. Beautiful paint scheme in the hair. You see some of that green showing through. That was by design. Massive hands. And like I said, super heavy. I'm leaning him back because that's how heavy his box is because of him. This is a big, durable action figure. Our Incredible Hulk is C10 museum example. He's never been outside of his box, as with all of our figures here on exhibit at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. Guys, if you're just joining us, welcome to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. This is what we do, guys. We're hanging out today in our museum, and we're looking at our Toy Biz Marvel Famous Cover Series collection exhibit. Here's another cool one. My Red Skull, another favorite of mine. Beautifully done. Just beautifully done. Cyclops. I think they did a fabulous job. This is more of the Cyclops from the 1990s version. Cyclops from the comic books. A lot of time, energy, and effort went into this toy line. They just didn't throw this toy line together and get it out to retail stores. You can look at the craftsmanship and a lot of the skill that went into these beautiful figures. I get caught up really with this figure because it's so well made. He's heavy. He's heavy as well. I want to say he's on a different body. And it came on like 2 or 3 different bodies, a smaller version body, a bigger body, and then you had the massive bodies, and then the female bodies as well. Here's another cool one, our Vision. The attention to detail, impeccable. And if you were big into action figures back then, this was a toy line that really got your attention. It had a little bit of everything. These guys are heavy. I don't want to upset the apple cart here. I don't want to knock anything down. Our Falcon. Classic Falcon from the comic books from the 1970s when I first found out about Falcon and started reading about him. And they did a great job on his outfit. Falcon came on another larger size body. We call it the heroic body. And then you have down here, and I'll bring him over here so we can get a better look at him. This is my Mr. Sinister. And they see here they say 8-inch figures, but they didn't. They averaged height-wise about 9 inches tall. I highly recommend this toy line to collectors. If you're starting a collection, this is a beautiful starting point for your collection. Is the Marvel Toy Biz Marvel Famous cover series. And super cool outfits, very colorful, vibrant. Beautiful head sculpts. Just fun. Let's see here. This is my Spider Girl, and she was another fun figure. Let me see if I can get this. They come with the Velcro buttons to hold this, as you can see here, to hold the 5th panel in place. And here's she's sliding over here, our Spider Girl. Yes, she has real hair underneath this this mask. That was another cool aspect. They gave you a cloth mask, so you got a lot of cloth goods. There's the spider symbol. Beautifully done. Just fantastic. Once again, like I said, this is just a super fun line toy line, and we will be adding more. There's an Iron Man that I want to add to the Marvel Famous Cover series collection here at our museum. Our good buddy at the Howling Wolf Reviews did a great video. Check his channel out, guys. The Howling Wolf Reviews. He did a great video on that Iron Man. So, but we will be adding more to our collection. Here's my Daredevil. I'm a huge Daredevil fan. A huge, massive Daredevil fan. So any chance I can get to add a beautiful Daredevil Mego-like action figure to our museum collection, I always take it. Here's the thing: people have made a big fuss about his emblem here, the Daredevil emblem here, the double D on his chest. They should have been positioned differently. They weren't accurate as far as the comic book wise, but that's, once again, that's the charm of this toy line and these figures. There were imperfections, but you got the point. You knew this was Daredevil, and it was a fantastic head sculpt here of Daredevil. He didn't get cheated, and he even gave you the little oven mitt gloves. He has his fist balled up underneath this oven mitt glove. And you got a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak, with this line. But we just wanted to, like I said, with the passing of the legendary, the iconic Stan Lee, we simply wanted to pay tribute and respect to a true legend and pioneer. And you think of comic books, that's the first name that comes to mind, Stan Lee. I know it was for me when I was a kid growing up in the 1970s. Reading all this, these Marvel comic books were so clever, so colorful. The writing was awesome, and we just wanted to share this with you today, guys. You know the routine. God bless. And keep.